Hello, and welcome one and all. My name is Eric Sperry, and you are currently underway of watching the third and final installation of my three-part video series discussing environmental issues in Southeast Asia. Please watch those videos if you haven't. You might be interested in some of the things I talk about. In the first video I talked about concerns with water, and in the second video I discussed the impacts and issues surrounding air pollution. This video is going to be about ecological conservation. Southeast Asia is a rapidly growing and developing part of the world, and this has been at the cost of much of its natural resources. According to an article published by the United Nations Environmental Program, Southeast Asia has the world's third largest tropical forests. These forests are a very unique and ecologically diverse area. A report from Yale's Environment 360, published in 2013, states that in the previous 15 years, 1,700 different species have been discovered in Southeast Asia's forests. However, these forests have quickly become susceptible to farms, climate change, and other environmental hazards. According to the United Nations Environmental Program report, Southeast Asia is losing about 1.2% of its forests annually. Cambodia, the Philippines, and Indonesia report annual losses of about 2%. Greenpeace reports that only 2% of China's forests remain untouched. A significantly smaller portion of that is actually protected. As reported by NASA's Earth Observatory, the single biggest cause of deforestation is conversion to farmland. The immense need for space for people and farms, combined with the lack of governmental protection, has created an increase in deforestation at unsustainable rates. Exploitation of developing countries also plays a major role in the destruction of forests. According to Greenpeace, China and India are the two main consumers of palm oil, a popular ingredient in a vast amount of foods eaten throughout the world. World Watch Institute reports that Indonesia is currently the leading supplier of the world's palm oil, a fact that has fueled the need for more farmland and more clearing of forests in Indonesia. This has heavily influenced Indonesia surpassing Brazil in the competition to have the greatest rate of deforestation, according to an article published in 2014 by The Guardian. This is even more worrisome when considering the fact that Indonesia's forests are only a quarter the size of Brazil's. Developing world economies comes at the price of sacrificing trees and natural resources. The United Nations Collaborative Program on Reducing Emissions from Deforestation and Forest Degradation in Developing Countries, the UNREDD, reported that, quote, deforestation and forest degradation account for nearly 20% of global greenhouse gas emissions, more than the entire global transportation sector, and second only to the energy sector, unquote. Deforestation and loss of habitat negatively affects not only ecologies and the animals that live there, but also indigenous people and those who rely on the forests for a livelihood. Environmental loss also contributes to increasing greenhouse gas emissions, a topic I discussed in the video before this one. According to Greenpeace, China and Indonesia are two of the top 3 greenhouse gas emitters, alongside the United States of America. Deforestation is not only a factor in greenhouse gas emissions being so high, but also a key cause of emissions in the first place. It is important to preserve environments in these Asian countries because there are profound global effects. Endangered species are quickly becoming extinct. People who live in these areas are losing their land, and the air we breathe is making us sick. These countries need to conserve what forests they have left before it's too late. You can help too, by looking for products that don't use palm oil, which is actually kind of bad for you anyway. This would help dull the financial scythe that's clearing the forests for farms. Reduce, reuse, and recycle are 3 of the best ways to halt environmental devastation. And if developed nations instated policies to stop taking advantage of countries that lack environmental protection, these countries may be able to take a step back and develop their own policies to protect themselves. I hope that you learned something and gained an interest in the things I've talked about. Southeast Asia is a hotspot for environmental issues, and hopefully we can use that area as an example of why we do what we do and why we have some of the laws in place that we do. It's important to realize that no one issue is more or less significant than any other, and that we're often interconnected. If we look at the immediate causes of these environmental issues, you can see a host of other things actually influence and lead to these causes. Overpopulation, a conscious decision of development over conservation, a lack of governmental and social concern, economic instability, and a lack of mass education has allowed these environmental issues to propagate. Pollution, demolition of natural resources, and lack of sustainability are the symptoms of a larger problem. These have led to altered weather patterns, health complications, and ecological devastation on, not just a local, but a global scale. Action is needed by everyone to escape the fate that Asia is setting for itself. Education is the first line of defense for this. You can help educate your friends and family about these issues. I'm doing my part. Now you can do yours. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep it fetch.